Ever since hearing about it back in 2006, RPG fans have been eagerly looking forward to White Knight Chronicles. And who could blame them? This game was made by Level 5, the JRPG masters behind Dragon Quest VIII and the Dark Cloud series. Hopes were high, but unfortunately White Knight Chronicles does not live up to that legacy. The game follows Leonard, a lowly wine staffer who stumbles upon an assassination plot, a princess in distress, and a magical giant suit of armor. The story has a few interesting plot twists, but it's not well told. The pacing and character development can be frustrating, and overall it just isn't as compelling as it could have been. On top of all that, the ending of White Knight Chronicles could be one of the most unsatisfying cliffhangers since Halo 2. The visuals in this game are a mixed bag. On one hand, some of the environments can be very cool and expansive. On the other hand, there are a ton of pop-in issues, spell effects are a little bland, and the characters look like they're from a really good PS2 game. On the plus side, the music and voiceover work is good, even if the lip syncing is downright awful.
I give you wonders aplenty and sights unlike any!
Despite the problems, Level 5 did include a few things that I can appreciate. My personal favorite is the Crystal Camera, a handy little item that lets you take pictures in the game and send them to friends via the online interface called GeoNet. Now here's where the major problems start to creep up. White Knight's battle system is a cross between a traditional JRPG and an MMO. A little active time meter has to fill up before you can perform any action. As your characters level up, you can spend skill points on unlocking new actions to perform. These abilities can then be installed onto your action palette, which is the fancy way of referring to the menu on the bottom of the screen. Being able to tweak your commands and build custom combos might seem appetizing at first, but after spending more than 30 hours with this game, I can tell you that most of the time you spend with White Knight Chronicles battles will be spent waiting. However, this is nothing compared to my main problem with White Knight combat. Distance from an enemy is completely irrelevant. Once you engage an opponent, they can hit you from pretty much anywhere. You can be on the other side of an area, around a corner, whatever. They can always hit you, even with close-range attacks, but you can't retaliate. In other words, you play by the rules, but the enemies don't. That's called a gameplay imbalance. Transforming into the White Knight also has its fair share of annoyances. After building up enough action chips to transform, Leonard will forcefully revert back to human form once he's beaten up everybody in the area, even if he has plenty of magic points left to spend. If there are enemies just around the corner that you could continue fighting, Leonard's precious action chips are wasted. Lame. One good addition to White Knight Chronicles is the multiplayer mode. Although you can't play the main story online, you can play a bunch of MMO-style quests with your friends. Your online lobby is actually a little town that you create, complete with shops and residents. It would have been way better to play the entire game with friends, but this Monster Hunter-style multiplayer is a nice addition. Coordinating attacks with your buddies is way more interesting than just letting AI handle the rest, and having the ability to grind your custom character and earn more money helps you when you return to the single player. Although it's great to see integrated message boards and blogs, it stinks that the GeoNet friends list is separate from your PSN friends list. The interface isn't terribly intuitive either, as my friends and I both had to send friend requests for the invites to even appear, and then sign in and out of GeoNet to force the additions to register. At least things seem to run smoothly when the quest finally gets underway. Overall, White Knight Chronicles is tremendously disappointing, especially given Level 5's previous efforts. The multiplayer is interesting and the game has a cool premise, but a tedious and flawed battle system, poorly told story, and lackluster graphics kill a lot of the enjoyment. For the full written review of White Knight Chronicles, head over to IGN.com.